Awesome. Well, thank you and welcome everyone. As Alicia said, I'm Amanda Sammons. I work for Butte County Office of Education as a CTE administrator. And one of my primary functions at Butte County Office of Education is to serve as the administrator for CTE Online. And it's near and dear to my heart as when the project began years ago, I was a young teacher and got roped into a curriculum writing institute. I spent 16 years in the classroom as an ag education instructor. So early on, I got roped into a curriculum writing institute, continued working with CTE Online, serving as a sector lead. We now call those folks our ambassadors, our sector ambassadors. And when the opportunity presented itself to work for Butte County Office of Education, I took that. And unbeknownst to me at the time, I would end up as the administrator of the CTE Online project. So it's kind of come full circle. So I have a huge place in my heart for this project as well. So just with a show of hands, if you can, or using your little reactions, how many of you have used CTE Online before? Give me a thumbs up or a clapping, put a little reaction there. Okay, we have a few of you. Awesome. Very good. And so some of you, I'm going to guess, are completely new. So I hope that today, whether you're new to the project or have been here and seen it before, that you were able to take something away that's helpful. Please feel free to participate in this presentation. You should have a floating control bar. Hover your mouse at the bottom of your screen if you don't see that. If you have a question, click on chat to open up the chat box and you can type your question in there. And then also feel free to unmute yourself and just ask a question. I enjoy the interactivity of a presentation. The reactions on your screen to communicate what you're thinking and feeling. So for those of you that are new to CTE Online, CTE Online started as a curriculum project and a way for teachers to, CTE teachers to be able to show their worth on a campus. It came into play years ago when we saw CTE programs start to disappear. And what we wanted to make sure happened was that administrators knew that CTE courses were often the reason students came to school, and that those courses were supporting the work teachers were doing in the core content and really helping students to do better on tests. They were the application of skills they were learning. So since then, CTE Online has grown. The focus has changed now as sort of the one-stop shop for everything CTE within California. Right now, we have over 4,000 lesson plans across 15 industry sectors on the site. We have over 130 sample course outlines and 300 project-based learning or PBL projects. At this point, we have over 138,000 registered users. Many of them are from California. This is a California-funded project. It is grant funded through the California Department of Education with Butte County Office of Education. So all of the materials that you have access to, many of those though are from out of state and even international users as well. And so that breaks down to a new user signing up for CTE Online about every 12 minutes. We have about 2,500 visits or sessions a day on our site. And typically when a user comes to our site, they're staying for about 5 minutes. Interestingly, in contrast, the average time somebody typically spends on a website is 30 to 45 seconds. So we like to think that we have materials here worth people's time. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what is CTE Online, and then I'm going to walk you through our main navigation tab, our main pages. I'm going to talk a little bit about our curriculum writing institutes. I see Eric on here and he's written for us often. And then I have a little survey for you and I'll share information with how to get in touch with us as well. So the first thing we'll talk about, and I'll bounce between presentations and the live site so you actually get to see the live site. The homepage, once you have a free user account, everybody has to have an account on our site, free to sign up. Once you have that account, you're going to be directed to your homepage, and that's the place you will go every time you log in. On that homepage, you're going to see news and events, groups, featured curriculum, notifications. You'll be able to see who's online, and if you have any curriculum in the site, you'll also be able to access that. So let's navigate over here. I'm going to move you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and log in to my training account. Our URL is on the bottom of the presentation, but it's cteonline.org. And this is my Minnie Mouse account. This is my training account. So this is what we call our logged in homepage. A few things, our logo in the upper left-hand corner. If you ever need to get back to this page from wherever you are on the site, if you click that logo, it will take you back to your logged in homepage. You can see now that page is going to reload. At the top, you have a search bar. If you just know what you're looking for and you want to search for something particular, you can do so from here. You're going to have a bell, which is your messages and notifications, and we'll talk about that shortly. And then you're going to have a drop down next to your avatar. And the drop down next to your avatar, any of these items should have the word "my" in front of it. So if you want to go to your home, your profile, your favorites, your notifications, etc., you're going to be able to easily access those from this caret right here. So back to the logged in homepage. Community callout is a new feature, a really great one for you to pay attention to. This is kind of that big announcement button from the California Department of Education. So you can see there's information, K-12 strong workforce applications being due the end of the week, LDI or Leadership Development Institute applications being due, information about Perkins. This is the information that CDE is pushing out and wants you to read. So make sure you pay attention to what shows up here according to your role on your site. My communities, these are going to be groups that you're a member of. So we have 15 industry sector groups or communities, plus a specific community for CTE admin and leadership type folks. And those are very, very active communities. And then you may be involved in other communities that are private, such as an institute group or something related specifically to your site. I know lots of people in CTE Teach are members of different communities. SSP also uses our communities. News and events here are going to be those that are specifically related to any communities that you're involved with or interests that you've identified. This is kind of fun to see who's online. So at any given time, you can see who the online users are. And a new feature just updated this week. When you hover over their profile picture, you'll be able to actually see that person's username. Same thing with my communities. We can't see the title of this community, but if you hover over it, again, that tagline comes up and so you see what that is. We also like to serve a few things up to you on your logged in homepage. Featured resources, oftentimes these are things that have been pushed out through CDE or things that are relevant for the time being. The distance learning resources is a section that we started putting together with the Distance Learning Task Force in March. And so all of our lessons developed since the spring have included a distance learning component. So you'll find those kinds of resources here. A ton of webinars since March, and they've archived those all on a YouTube channel, so we're linking there. And then you can also see any of the curriculum that you've created within the site that you own, and that will be available to you right here, easily accessed on your login homepage. I'm getting an unstable internet connection, so I'm going to go ahead and stop video to try to save some bandwidth. So after are there any questions about the homepage or the project in general? I'll pause there for a minute. No? All right. The next thing you're going to want to look at on our site is your profile. So the profile is where you can view your notifications and messages. You can view curriculum that you've created or specific groups that you're in. And I want to show you how to edit and update your profile. So when we go back to the logged in homepage, I'm going to click on my avatar and click on my profile. And this is the page people are going to see and learn about who you are. I see a question that just popped up here. Says, you said with free user account, is the whole site free? Yes. Everything, all the curriculum on our site, all of the tools are free. Every educator's favorite four-letter F word, right? Free. It is there for you. And I'll show you what lessons look like here in a minute. Was there anything else in there that I missed? I don't think so. Okay. So on your profile, this is what people are going to see and know of you, especially if you're writing curriculum or sharing information on the site. We always like to know who people are. So this is that information. If you haven't done so, I would encourage you to add a little bio about yourself and a picture. That always makes it a little more personal. We'll also see what industries and pathways they're involved in. Many here like fashion and interior design. And then what professional roles. And so the way to edit this is you're going to click on the little pen and paper. You can edit your name, your title. We do ask that you go back in. We are now capturing which state people are joining us from. And even you can add what specific institution you're working for. Update your bio information. And then as you click through here, there's contact information. You can add your social media accounts if you'd like. You can select your industry sectors that you're a part of, and you can even go as specific as including the pathways. If you happen to teach some K-12 subjects or core content, go ahead and check those. Other demographic information, we'd like to capture what professional role you have. This just helps us see and make sure we're providing the content for our user base, and what age of learners are supported. You can click those. And then also communication preferences. So you have an opportunity to choose how often you want to be communicated with about CTE Online. We do have messaging within the platform. When you receive a message in the platform, I would recommend that you have checked that you receive an email when a message is sent to you. That's kind of that reminder of, oh, hey, yep, I need to go back and check out what's going on over there. Or, hey, Eric sent me a message. I need to go respond to it. So it shows up in my regular email box. For me, that's just one less place I have to remember to check, because I know those messages are coming into my email box. We are moving towards the opportunity to have a digested notification, where you might choose to get a daily digest of what's happened on the site. You may never want to get those, or you can choose your timeline there. And so you're going to want to save all of these profile and want to contact them. One of the great ways to do that is just clicking on the little envelope, and that will open up our messaging system, and you can then type a message to that person. One of the updates that was pushed to the live site this week, just pushed on Monday, is that will trigger that email notification into your inbox if you get a message from somebody on the site, a direct message. You can also favorite somebody's profile if you're looking at somebody else's profile. So we'll pop back over here. Find curriculum. We just looked yesterday at what the top 100 search things were on our site. And really it's people coming to our site looking for curriculum. So in order to do that, you're going to select curriculum in the main navigation menu. We have featured curriculum. You can access the standards. You can browse curriculum, or you can create your own. And so if you select the specific industry sector under browse curriculum, it takes you to our search page with that sector already selected as a filter. And then you can narrow your search by pathway even to find material. So let's go check that out. So I'm going to click on curriculum. So this is what I talk about when I talk about browsing curriculum. If I were to click into arts, media, and entertainment, it'll take us to the search page, and you'll see that we've already filtered for arts, media, and entertainment curriculum. I always like to make sure that I'm searching the shared with the public kind of curriculum. It's in the arts, media, and entertainment sector. And let's say that I am looking for a lesson plan. I can actually then filter by pathway, clicking on the orange oval there. And I'm just going to deselect the pathways that I'm not interested in seeing. So you can see it filters every time I change that. And here are lesson plans related that are been tagged with that pathway. So if we were to open up a lesson, for those of you that are new, I'll give you a chance to look at what we actually have. This is our standard format. You're going to see that you get an introduction of information. You know who the lesson was created by. I should add that anything that's shared publicly has been written in a CTE Curriculum Institute and gone through our curriculum process, which includes the writer, team leads, a curriculum specialist, and it's also aligned to core content standards by specialists as well. So this is truly high quality curriculum. So you're going to get that introduction. On the left-hand side, you're going to see some navigation and the basic information about the lesson. This is a 60-minute lesson, and you'll also see the CTE standards, and other standards that are connected there. Okay. So this is an Andy Warhol creation project Dawn did for us just this past spring, and has to do with photography. So you're going to be able to expand and look at the objectives that are designed into this lesson. And then we're going to scroll down to the activities. Each activity is titled, so here's her hook type lesson. Dawn does a great job of even practically scripting it. This is what the teacher says here, and this is what the students are doing. And then she also provides an adaptation for distance learning if you're trying to teach this lesson in a distance format. And the resources and materials you need are here. We try to provide them both in their original editable format, so in this case it's PowerPoint, and then also as a PDF if you need that. Goes through the different activities. There's some videos here for students to watch. Again, there's a worksheet attached for the video, resources and materials. Dives a little further into the project with information. I hope I'm not making you sick while I scroll here as you see what's going on. Again, lessons, instructions, PowerPoints as PDFs, and then the assessment at the end of the project or at the end of the lesson. And you can see there's student examples, there's a completed rubric, and then there's the originals as well. That's the standard layout of all of our lessons within the site. If this was a lesson you loved and wanted to come back and look at later, you can click the heart and favorite it. And then anytime you would be able to access it by clicking on your favorites here. You could click these little two papers stacked against each other here and copy the lesson if you like the lesson, but wanted to make some changes to it for your own situation, your own classroom, your own students. You can create a copy of this lesson, which then becomes editable, and you're the only one that can see that lesson. So you can adjust it as needed for your own use. And you can download the lesson and share the lesson. Okay. So you can see that we'll copy it. So there's lots of options here when you're looking at lessons. We also have course outlines and we also have projects. The other thing I wanted to talk about under the curriculum tab is if you want to create your own curriculum, you're just going to click that little button there and you have choices as to what you want to create. Is it an outline? Is it a lesson plan? Is it a project? Or is it a pathway? We now have this pathway tool, which allows you to assemble your course outlines into a pathway. So we think that's going to be valuable when you're trying to talk with counselors or administrators and really show them your sequence of courses. And this is an example of what one of those looks like. And the information within it nests. So you can see this is a 360-hour pathway. And these things that are our samples, we don't put CSU or UC approval because you need to do that locally in your own districts. Includes CalPADS, course codes, all of the standards that are addressed within that pathway, and then links to the individual courses. The other thing I want to show you is when we look at the course outlines, like this is an introductory course. When we get down into the course units, let me scroll down here. You'll see that lesson plans that are built that fit that unit are already attached in the outline. You could essentially design your whole course, your entire year with lessons and everything you needed attached right here in CTE Online. You can take lessons that are already here and attach them into your own course outline, mix and match, make it fit whatever you need to do. I will pause there and see if there are any questions. It looks like Heidi has a question in the chat. Is there a way to search if lessons can be offered asynchronously? That's a great question, Heidi. Our site is not a student-facing site. It is a teacher-facing site. And so your students would never be logging into our site. We're just providing you with the lesson plans to adapt and adopt in whichever way you see fit to make them fit your scenario and what's happening in your classroom or your area. Are there other questions out there? If you have other questions, feel free to unmute yourself. Okay, we'll keep moving. So like I said in the past, CTE Online was just curriculum. In the last year, we've expanded, and so now we have these other navigation tabs across the top: leadership, training and development, communities, career guidance, and resources. And so these are all still works in progress, but they are here for you. So let's walk through these tabs. We want you to be able to come to CTE Online and find what you need or get linked to what you need, okay? So one of the things in leadership is CTIG. We know CTIG and K-12 Strong Workforce are important right now. So if you click on CTIG resources page, you'll see we have linked to the CTE website. So we're doing some of the work for you. You don't need to go to CTE and try to navigate their site and find exactly what you need. Here's the information here, including the education code. But then also on this particular page, we have a map that you can roll over to see who is your consultant or contact at CTE for your CTIG region. So as you're scrolling, you can find out who you need to contact. With K-12 Strong Workforce, we're linking to the Community College Chancellor's Office, and we do have more pages planned to be added here in the near future. They are currently in development. We also want to link you to the CTE organizations. There are lots of ways to get connected and support and promote career technical education. So both national and state organizations are linked here if you're looking to connect and collaborate with others. Of our student leadership organizations, these link to their home pages. If you're looking for particular information, we know that the CTSO or Career Technical Student Organization component is important for CTIG. So that information is there. Some of you may have come to our site through CTE Teach. Their learning modules are on our site. They partner with us. And then LDI, or the Leadership Development Institute, information is on our site as well. So you can link to that here. LDI applications close in a couple days. If you're interested in pursuing CTE administration or coordinator type work, I would highly encourage you to take a second and check out the LDI program. It's funded by the California Department of Education, and I believe it's going to be virtual this year. Training and development, we talked about CTE Teach, so here's some information if you're interested in that. We have our specific CTE Online trainings and institutes, so every month we are offering a virtual happy hour if you're interested in attending. It's a bring your own beverage kind of event. But our next happy hour is November 5th. You can register there. And that's just an open 1-hour session for teachers, administrators, anybody that's interested to come in. And basically it's our office hours. It's a chance for you to come in and ask questions, learn tips and tricks about navigating the site, and to connect with other instructors. Last week we had our first happy hour, and there was a lot of just conversation about what teachers were doing with distance learning, virtual learning, synchronous, asynchronous, all that good stuff, and working together. So that was really great to see. We also have information on our Curriculum Writing Institute. I'll talk about that in a bit with you. And CTE online training. So we've expended all of our trainings this year, but in the late summer, we typically open this. We have a number of free CTE online trainings that we can give. This last year, those have been all virtual, obviously, but we do have that opportunity to offer free trainings to your local site. Conferences and webinars, some of these are archived. All of these are the archived ones right now, but as we know of things that are coming up, we can add those events here. And there's some information about LDI. Let's see, I don't know that I want to get into communities quite so much. Career guidance, let's talk about that. Career guidance, we know counselors are an important part of getting our students into CTE courses. And we also know that it's important that we teach about careers within our CTE courses. So on our career guidance page, we are linking you to those resources that we know of, especially those ones provided by California, like the Career Zone, the Career Center, and the Career Resource Network. All of three of those have their own sets of lesson plans in them. So if you're looking for content, feel free to check those out. Links you right to those. And then resources. We have thousands upon thousands of resources on the site. And they're kind of in two different buckets for me. There are those that are lesson resources. So they're your PowerPoints, they're your images, they're your videos, they're your student worksheets, those kinds of lesson planning related resources. But then we also have resources like planning for a COVID-19 year, guidance for reopening CTE programs. So there are those specific resources, as well as links to things like Carl Perkins information, California Workforce Pathways, College and Career Readiness, the school dashboard, OCTAE, the Office of Career Technical and Adult Education. All of these are links to valuable CTE information. Okay. The one thing that I want to go back to are communities. I mentioned these briefly earlier, but our communities are one of the highlights of our site, I think. It is a place where we can bring teachers together. We know that in school districts of all sizes, sometimes those CTE teachers are siloed. They're singletons on a campus, and they don't have people that know and understand what they're teaching, or people they can bounce things off of. And in this day and age, that is more important than ever. So we have a community group for each of the 15 sectors. And you can see when we click into these, each of our community groups is led by an ambassador for that sector, and that's going to be a teacher in the field. So you'll see for engineering and architecture, Bill Brown is our sector ambassador for this group. There's a communication, I like to call these a discussion board. You can add comments. You'll see here Mark Martin posted a comment today about the community college regional directors for manufacturing have worked to get free access to students. And I believe this is for, CAD. Here it is, CAD, AutoCAD, Revit, Fusion, Autodesk software, a way for students to be able to access that in distance learning, free for all of those in California. So these discussion boards are a great way to connect, ask your questions, and get information. Also, if there's any specific news or events related to this sector, they would be posted here. There's some shared curriculum if you're looking for samples of curriculum available. At this point, you can see Minnie Mouse is the only member of this sector that's online, but you'll notice that there are almost 7,000 members within this community group. This is one of our smaller community groups as well. We have some with upwards of 11,000 members. So when you connect with people here, you're connecting with a large group of people that might be able to help and support you. Okay. And then the other community that I wanted to make sure to touch on while we're here is a new one that has been added this last year. It's our CTE Admin Group. And so this is for those of you that are coordinators, CTE administrators, in that kind of CTE leadership role. Any of you that aspire to do that, anybody that just wants to know what's happening in that side of the house. This is the place for those people to connect and ask their questions. And you can see this is a small, really small group at this point because it's just been started. And then we have some shared collections and shared resources that are specific to this group here and things they might specifically be interested in. And know that you can join as many communities as you want to. And in order to join a community, I should have showed you that. In order to join a community, all you need to do is click on the community, and right here where it says leave group, you'll see a green button that says join group. So if you clicked that, you would become a member of that community. So again, join as many or as few as you like. But once you're a member of the community, you will get the updates from that particular community. What questions do we have that are out there right now? I'll pause for a second.
Nothing in the chat.
Okay. Anybody else? No?
Hi, Amanda, Eric. Teachers have asked me, how do they get their communications forwarded to another email so that they might be using their home email, or they have multiple emails?
Yeah, so that would be within your profile. If you go into your profile and edit that, it's going to be based on the contact information you put here.
Got it.
So if you want to use something that's different than maybe you change districts or something and no longer have access to that email, just go into your contacts and update that.
Can it handle more than one email?
It does not at this point. We're just one single address.
Okay. Get Frank on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Is there anything on this site, before I jump back into the presentation, anything on this site that you guys are wanting to see, or that you think, hey, I wish you would have spent more time talking about that? I know Eric would tell me if there was something he thought I missed, so.
All good.
All good, okay. I've got it all down, huh? A couple things. This is the one that people are always really interested in. Write for us. We often get asked, how do you get your content? Well, we pay teachers for it, to be completely honest. We hold our curriculum writing institutes, and these are, this year, they are virtual 2-day curriculum institutes. Ideally, we bring people together for 2 days in some part of the state. We gather at a hotel, and we pay your travel, your lodging, your meals, all that good stuff when we're able to gather in person. But we bring people together for a 2-day curriculum writing institute. During those 2 days, we really teach and train you on the tools within our site, the lesson plan in particular. We pair you up with a team lead. You get to know your team lead. We get you started on your first lesson plan, and then you go home and we have a timeline. You write your 4 lessons, 4 high quality CTE lessons in that timeline. And once they're all done and approved, we get to send you a $2,000 stipend. I know Eric would call me out if I was lying about this one. So is it true,
Absolutely
Eric? Is it just
right.
that easy?
Yeah, and one year we did have it at Coachella at the music festival. Amanda rented her own tent, and this past year we were going to go to Burning Man, but that didn't work out either because there was no internet access. So, you know, maybe next year.
He may be stretching the truth a tiny bit, but we do have a good time when we go to these institutes. I will tell you, our first institute for the year is planned for November, and we have already accepted our applicants for that institute. However, the February institute is currently accepting applications, and those applications are due by the end of December. And to find those, that always comes up. And when it loads, you'll just click on the CTE Online trainings. Oops, sorry, wrong one. Hello. You will click on Curriculum Writing Institutes.
There I am in the middle, in the back row.
Yep, there he is. And there's a lot of information here about our institutes, and you'll see if you scroll down after reading that information, the application is here. So I do see a question that says, in the 2-day training, how many hours per day do you train? We work, it's pretty intensive. We'll go from 8 to 4-ish in groups together. And then oftentimes there will be the first night an assignment. You have to have a hook completed by the time you attend the next day so that you can understand how to use the review tools within the site.
It's a terrific opportunity to meet with other people in your sector who are going to give you some tremendous ideas to improve your professional practice, and the resources that you pick up from other people. You may see them occasionally in emails and this and that, but sitting in a room with somebody and looking what they're doing and looking at the resources that they're using and the resources, and especially cross-curricular. I do ICT, but I've been matched up with the police and fire and EMS people, and we have cross-pollinated so many resources that help each other that it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. There is definitely a special synergy that happens in that room for those 2 days of just all these great minds coming together to develop lessons, for sure. There's a question about when is the first institute. Our first institute for this year is in November, but those applications have already closed and people have been selected. And so the number of institutes that we can offer each year is based on our contract with CDE. And so this year it happens to be 2 institutes. And how many people that we can afford to pay to do those lessons. Because again, you do get paid a $2,000 stipend once you've completed the lessons. We also reimburse for sub time. So we know your district is releasing you to come to this event. So whether it's virtual or in person, we are able to pay for 2 days of sub time, up to $100, I believe it's $180. We do an actual reimbursement. Okay. Looks like there's another chat asking about, a question asking about when does the application process open? And that application process for the February Institute is open now. The application is available and you're able to complete it. And anytime you can find out information by going to page tab.
You just faded in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. My internet is, it's windy here, so my internet is struggling.
Get the mouse to spin faster.
Exactly, exactly. The application process for the February Institute is open now. Applications close the end of December for that. And if you want to find out more information, all the information about the upcoming curriculum institutes are on that institute page on the Leadership and Training tab. Okay. What other things can I show you about the site? I know we've got a few more minutes. I also want to let you know that if you have questions, please visit our help page. We are, and let me show you where that is because it's kind of tricky if you're not familiar with this site. If you scroll clear down to the very bottom corner is our help page. And on our help page, you will see lots of videos and quick guides. So the videos are just short overviews of how to navigate the site and looking for curriculum within the site. I know we've gone through these things very quickly today. This is a good place for you to go and review that. And we are right now, since we moved to this new platform in June. And so we're in the process of rebuilding all those videos and quick guides because this site is so very different than what the last one was. So you'll see we're getting there. But there's some videos, and then the quick guides are just one pager kind of documents that are very visual that lead you through how to do something like creating a lesson or creating a project. And again, more of these are coming, but they're accessed right here at the very bottom of the page, clicking help. And that will be at the bottom of any page within our site. Beyond that, if you ever need help, please, please, please don't struggle in silence. Email webmaster@cteonline.org. And our team, as long as it's during normal business hours, Monday through Friday, are very quick to respond. Or you can call them and the phone number is provided there and it's also on our website.
Well,
And
thank you, Amanda. Are there any more questions?
If you don't mind, I'm going to drop a link to our general training survey into the chat. If you guys could fill that out for me, please. We use that feedback when we go to renew our contract each year and write our annual report for CTE. So if you could provide us that feedback, it would be much appreciated.
And we are recording this, so everything will be available via recording. And Amanda, somebody asked if they could have the slides, if the slides would be available.
Sure. Yeah, I can upload those, absolutely.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to go ahead and end this meeting for all. So if you have not already got that link, please make sure that you grab it before I end it. Okay. All right, well, thank you, Amanda. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.